This is working, right?
Yes, this works. Yep. It won't show. This does nothing.
This is not plugged in?
No, it's just nothing.
Okay.
We just have headsets on.
Okay. We should probably apologize for not being able to figure this out.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, it's like two fishermen trying to figure out technology one that doesn't even use live scope. Okay?
Yeah.
So, analog shouldn't be analog, but is analog.
Yeah.
Well, welcome to, I guess, the official episode 1. Official, not so official, because it was supposed to be live.
It was supposed to be live on the Big Bash Dreams channel.
Right, that's where it all started.
Right.
That's where problem 1 occurred.
Yeah.
The first problem. We couldn't access the Big Bash Dreams YouTube live stream.
Yep.
And then we had problems with the software.
Yep. Software was messing up. Internet was messing up. The stream, trying to get it from the camera to the software to YouTube. They were just a lot of hoops and bounds.
So everything went wrong.
Yeah. We had what, 3-4 hours?
We had 3 hours to figure it out.
Yeah.
Which I told Sam, that's plenty of time. We're not that dumb. No.
We were that dumb.
We were. Well, I don't think it was all our fault.
No.
There was definitely technical issues that we couldn't just overcome.
Yeah, there's no live scope involved. I couldn't tune it in.
You couldn't pan it.
Yeah.
To get the right resolution. So here we are.
Here we are. Welcome to episode 1/1/1.5/1.7 of the Backlash Podcast, guys. Welcome in. My name is Sam. This is John. And we're going to be your hosts. We've got some big stuff planned, so make sure you're tuning in, hopefully next time, to the Big Bash Streams YouTube channel. And what do you want to kick it off with today?
Well, first, I wanted to stream this to multiple platforms, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Like Instagram, YouTube.
Right. And we found that to be quite difficult. We'll be better prepared next time. Yeah, for sure. The whole idea of this podcast, okay, for people tuning in, wasn't just to cater to, like, tournament, like, hardcore tournament anglers, right? My whole approach to fishing is that doesn't even, the tournament, like, I guess, genre of fishing, I don't even think represents, like, a drop in the bucket.
Right, absolutely.
When it comes to, like, fishermen, or I think 99% of people that own a rod and reel could care less about tournament fishing.
Yeah, I mean, you see it all the time. I mean, most people don't care about whatever pro pushing whatever product. Obviously, you're going to get probably the bigger spins when it comes to, like, technology or specific baits. I mean, not even just swim baits. Obviously, swim baits are, like, a huge portion of your higher cost market. But people that just go out and buy a Senko, like a Texas rig, that's
a creature bait on a EWG worm hook.
Yep.
And
with either
a
bullet weight, yeah.
But
simple.
Right. And the vast majority of the people that fish could probably care less that Jacob Fouts is in economic turmoil because he didn't have the foresight to make YouTube videos.
Absolutely. He didn't follow the trend,
right?
Essentially. And, I mean, as much as I enjoy watching, like, your Brandon Poliniks and, like, your Jacob Wheelers and, like, all these other pros on the tours, right, it costs a lot of money in production, from a camera guy to a camera boat to, feeding them. And basically you're just paying another pro to run around with.
Man, it wasn't always like that, though.
No, absolutely
Do you remember the early days of YouTube fishing channels?
Oh, yeah. It was like, just turn on the chesty, right? Yeah. You're at a pond. All you see, like, you don't even see their face most of the time. They don't even do an intro. It's just like, hey, we're at the pond. We're throwing this yum dinger and catching bass.
It's one rod, one reel.
Yeah.
Okay. How many subscribers does he have? I bet you he has one of the biggest channels.
I think he's at 2 mil in counting.
And his whole deal is a GoPro and a cell phone, right? But that represents the majority of the fishing community.
Absolutely.
Right? And the fishing community is what makes the fishing industry.
Yep.
Right? Without the community, there is no industry.
Yeah.
Okay.
100%.
And the problem, in my mind, with the way the industry is kind of gearing towards is that they're not reaching the massive audience. They're reaching the minute minority,
right.
of those hardcore tournament, anglers. And
and they set it up so well, right? Starting for trickle down effect, right? You got the Elite Series and the Bassmasters. You got the Elite Series, Now you have the opens, which are a big deal. And then it really kicked off in the high school fishing and college fishing scenes. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of my generation, because I was at that beginning end of Fouts, Cody Huff, and all these guys coming in through the college ranks.
Right.
Like Jordan Lee was already out when I got in, but that's when they started the trickle-down effect and making people pay just absorbent amounts of money to just go fish tournaments.
Yeah.
And it's just
so that they can lose more money.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, because nobody makes money from just fishing tournaments.
No.
Not even your weekend, like your Wednesday nighters, Tuesday nighters.
No.
Dude, they're like, if you win a jackpot on your home lake, you might have,
$500.
You might pay for dinner and gas.
Yeah.
And a couple of beers.
Of course, everyone, like, as fishermen, you go into a tackle store, you're like, okay, I need X, Y, Z, all this stuff just for that day. And it's either you're like me and you break it off that night, or you don't even touch it for, another couple months.
And, I bet you we can go to any lake in the state, or country for that matter, and talk to 100 fishermen on a Saturday afternoon. Dude, there might be a handful of them that can name 3 professional anglers.
Yeah,
I'm talking about
just random
people that are fishing.
Yeah,
okay? They could be fishing with their families, or they could be on a boat in a kayak.
Zaldane was a great example of that, because he posted a video on Bass Pro Shops.
Yeah,
and he's like, he himself is a Bassmaster Elite Series Pro, and he's
one of the more well-known
Bass Pro Shops, and all these guys are like, dude, he's like, do you know who Chris Zaldane is? He's like, nope. No idea.
Yeah. But that's the vast majority, right?
But that's the beauty of it too.
And that's who I want to reach out to, because here's the problem with social media too, right?
Right.
They've kind of taken a shit on the people that aren't hardcore tournament anglers.
Yeah, absolutely.
You're almost looked down upon or frowned upon if you're just somebody that likes to go out. If you only have an hour in the day, man, after work, and you want to unwind and just go beat the banks of your HOA pond or your small city lake.
Yep.
And let's say you happen to stumble on an 8-pounder, which is possible in Texas.
Oh, absolutely.
Right? Post a picture of that on Facebook, okay, or Texas Fishing Forum, wherever, right?
It's like, oh, you pulled it out of a pond.
Yeah, you're gonna get shit on.
It's like if you don't post a picture with the scale, especially on the DFW fishing forum, it's like,
I hate that
no
too,
pic,
though.
no proof. You don't have a scale.
Guess the weight.
Oh my gosh.
Blow my brains out.
It's ridiculous. So if you're watching and you are a weekend warrior, a bank angler, guys, we're not just talking about, the big tournament stuff. We're talking about just whatever in the industry. We're talking fishing, we're talking drama, we're talking...
I want to help everybody
Absolutely.
fish better. I don't care how you fish, what you fish out of, why you fish.
Yeah.
I think the core reason why all of us started fishing was to just kind of escape whatever it is that's going on in the real world.
Yeah.
Okay? It was a means of therapy.
Yep.
It was for me, it was to replace one unhealthy or a multitude of unhealthy addictions with a healthy one. That's what fishing was to me.
Yeah.
And I know I'm not alone, because the posts that I make sometimes kind of reflecting back on why I got into fishing.
Right.
Whether it be on Instagram or Facebook. Dude, I get a lot of responses from people that are saying, dude, that's exactly that's why I got into fishing too.
Yeah. 100%.
It's like, for me, it was a means to get away from the alcohol, the drugs, and then the nightlife that I lived and the lifestyle that I lived. But don't get it twisted, folks. Fishing is an addiction too.
Fishing is definitely an addiction. Okay. Yeah, the tug is the drug, as they say, right?
It is, absolutely.
I get sick sometimes just not catching a fish.
I don't mind not catching it.
I hate it. Dude, that's why I use LifeScope.
Dude, that's also a problem, Sam.
I know.
Dude,
it's an addiction.
Dude, why are there people out there still trying to prove that they can still catch them?
Yeah.
No, I know
absolutely.
that there's certain people out there, like guides,
right,
or influencers. Mm-hmm. You don't need to prove to me that you can catch fish anymore, bro.
Yeah.
Quit trying to swing a big dick, okay? And I hate that, because it's like, hey, why don't you spend that effort, that energy into maybe teaching somebody something?
Yeah.
Post something that's helpful.
The ones that I follow, I think, do a really good job of it. Some of them are really content, sponsored content, pushy. But at the same time, I know deep down there, they have to make a living too. They give up their full day job a lot of the time. Mm-hmm. And I know, I guess 4 or 5 years ago, when I was in college/high school, I mean, you just see a huge push. You know, the wave had already almost crashed with the Googans and stuff, and everyone's just trying to feed out of this pie on the influencer, you know, the pro staff guy. You know, it's still there, but it's still apparent in our industry where everyone just wants to make a quick buck, or they think they can make it as a fishing personality.
It's not easy now.
No.
It might have... Well, I bet you it wasn't easy then either. Because I'll tell you, my first YouTube video that I uploaded might have been in 2008.
Right.
And back then, it was inconceivable to think that this is going to somehow turn into a financially profitable venture.
Yep.
Dude, I just made videos to teach people, hey... And this was like in the infancy of when the U.S. was realizing that Japan had better shit.
Yep.
Okay, so I was posting videos. Like, you can go back and look at my YouTube channel, which is not active right now. Like, it is active, but I'm not active on it.
Right.
Like, and I would post videos on where to buy budget JDM tackle. Because people didn't know back then.
Yeah.
You know, it wasn't well known that these Japanese sites where you could buy like stuff that other people don't have.
I'm sure they hated sending us stuff. They're like, why the hell is this guy?
I don't know if they hated it. They were probably, these dummies are now catching on. Like, you know, they're like, good, take this shit. Nobody here uses this anymore. Right? You know? Our fish are so smart now.
This was so 2004.
Yeah. And that's what I posted. And that's all it was. It wasn't like, oh, I'm going to post this and get famous.
Right.
You know, I posted a video on how to tie the FG knot like freaking 12, 15 years ago on YouTube. It's probably my most viewed video. But you know when all those views started adding up?
Right.
Way after I made the video.
Yeah.
Because,
absolutely.
You know, like nobody was tying an FG knot in bass fishing 10 years ago.
No.
Okay?
No,
that's
I
like 5-6 years ago. Yeah.
Up until a few years ago.
Yeah.
Where it's like, oh, this is a little hard to tie. Took me a little bit to tie it.
Yeah.
You know, but I got it eventually, and now it's all I tie.
And you know why it's a good knot to tie.
Right, because it's not even a knot.
Right. And it's streamlined.
Right.
It's strong.
Goes through the guides easy.
You can put it on your reel.
Yeah.
You know? And that's it's weird, but a lot of that didn't come from my bass fishing background.
Right. You were big offshore, saltwater, tunas, swordfish.
But that is also why I was able to incorporate that stuff that I learned in that industry to bass fishing.
Right, because I mean, all the fish you were targeting were apex predators anyway, and that's all a bass is. I mean, it's just a big tuna, or it's a small tuna in freshwater.
Right.
Where it's chasing and eating, and
in its world, it's King Dingaling.
Right.
Yeah. Like a tuna in its world is the king of the ocean, right? And so it all registered. It all, and maybe that's why I was able to adapt much more quickly.
Right. And
not be so stubborn. I'm still stubborn as hell about live scope because that's totally different.
Well, I mean, so John and I went out fishing on was it Thursday? Yeah, Thursday last week in the rain. Freezing cold. John got up like an hour and a half late. I called him. I was like, John, am I at the right ramp? And he goes,
I was still sleeping.
He goes, oh shit. Oh God, what day is it? And I'm like, John, I'm at the ramp. He's like, oh my God, dude. Slams the phone down, and like an hour and a half later, he gets to a place. I'm like, hey, what's up, dude? He's like, I'm not even awake.
I couldn't drink my morning coffee. I couldn't have breakfast.
You couldn't take a dump.
Couldn't take my morning pregame deuce. I just showed up straight to the ramp, and I was like not even awake yet. And Sam's got the camera going. He's like, I'm like, okay, let's go.
Let's go catch fish.
I don't need to be awake to catch a fish.
No, and I think it was like 5 minutes into the day, you crack like a 2-pound spotted bass.
Yeah, on the Arma joint.
190.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, we did get the new slow sink versions in.
Yeah.
You know, so guys, working at a tackle shop here, obviously I want to sell you tackle. That's not my number one goal. Our number one goal here, and this is one of the reasons I think John and I get along so well, especially in collaboration with Big Bass Dreams, is we're just here to help you locate fish, locate avenues to catch fish, and not try to push, you know, certain brands on you. Obviously, I have my brands that I like to fish. I have brands that I will maybe push a little bit harder.
I'm very not brand loyal.
No, you've got just such a huge multitude of things.
There are certain companies that do certain things better than others, right?
Absolutely.
If I allow myself to be aligned with a specific company, then I will obviously have to promote and push that product. And luckily, I'm not right now per se, so I can fish with whatever I want. And like working at a tackle shop, obviously, and a tackle shop that I actually like to shop at, right? And that's why we started really working together and doing stuff like this, because they carry stuff that I want. You guys carry stuff that and if you don't,
we'll get it. We'll get it in like a week. You know, it's like ring ring.
It's amazing to see how far Lake Pro has come.
Yeah, it is absolutely. So, I guess getting that out of the way. What are we talking about now?
Well, I do want to still stick with the whole, I guess, mission statement. It's not really a mission statement, because it's just kind of like, I want this to be enjoyable for all anglers. Right. And I want to talk about stuff that'll help all anglers succeed. Because to be completely honest with you, I don't care how I fish. Yeah. Meaning, I don't care if I'm in a boat. I don't care if I'm in the kayak. I don't care if I'm fishing off the bank. I don't care if I'm fishing in a puddle. Right. Okay? The objective for me isn't always to catch fish, because in my mind, I don't care what all you guys think. Okay? In my mind, I don't think I have to prove I can catch fish anymore.
No. Okay? No, you've done quite a bit.
And so, and I still have goals, though, because we have to have goals. Right. I still want to catch giant fish. I want to catch bigger than average fish. You know, catching a lot of fish is still fun.
I think the most simple goal is just break your PB.
That's not simple though, bro. That's why they call it a personal best. Okay? Right. But it doesn't happen often.
It's always a goal that you're trying to achieve.
Right. And I want to help other people achieve those goals. Right. Because for so long, the fishing community, like information, right, the most valuable commodity in fishing, in my mind, it's not your forward-facing sonar. No. It's not your 22-inch graph. It's information. Yet, we undervalue it until we realize it's valuable. Right. Right. And by the time we realize it's valuable, people aren't wanting to shell it out. Right. Nobody wants to give away information.
No, it's so interesting now in like a technological area, or I guess time, where there's so much information out there. You know, everyone is putting out information on YouTube, on social media, whether it be good information or bad information.
Mostly bad. Regurgitated information that they picked up somewhere off the ground, and that's good content. Let's roll the dice on YouTube with that one.
Right, and then let's blow something up for views. You know, there's just so much information out there. So we're gonna try to bring you information that we know works, have tested, have tried out. That's the beauty of working at a tackle shop here, guys.
And if
I
you
can
ask
just pick whatever I want up off the shelf.
And if you ask me a question about fishing, let's say the California Delta, I'm just gonna flat out tell you I don't know.
Because there's reeds, there's tide.
I've never fished a tidal fishery for bass. Yeah. So I don't know, right? And it's okay to say you don't know, but dude, there are people.
Oh my God, there's people
that be talking about stuff they have no business talking about.
I'm an expert, but I've never been there.
And that's where the live scope clash comes in, right? Everybody that hates it has never used it. Is what the theory is, and that's kind of true. Yeah. If you've never used it, all you've heard is if you hear Randy Block talk about it,
or you haven't used it in a correct way.
Right. You haven't learned to properly use it.
Right.
Which is also that's not just live scope though.
No.
How many times have you seen guys say, "Well, my grandpa caught 15-pound largemouth on a freaking ugly stick with 130-pound Dacron and a chicken wing"? Yeah, it's like, okay, all right. You don't need a $500 rod to catch bass. I'm like, no, you don't. But have you ever fished a $500 rod? It's very enjoyable.
It's very enjoyable. I do think, Tim is the store manager here. He's fished around the country. He was in the Army, so, he's fished from, New York, from, overseas, Italy, wherever. And we preach to people, you don't need anything really most of the time over $250 most of the time, but that's enjoyable when you get to those really high levels of rods and reels, right?
I bet you we could ask Tim this question, he'd agree. A $250 rod today is better than a $500 rod from 12 years ago.
Absolutely.
Okay. Reels are the same way. A $200 reel today is better than the Gen 1 Antares. Okay. And that's just how technology advances, right?
Right.
So I didn't start off by fishing the highest end gear. I started fishing off with very boo-boo, mediocre fishing tackle, okay? Because nobody like, you know, when I was 6, 7 years old, obviously I'm just gonna buy whatever I can find at Kmart or Walmart, right? And then even when I was in my teens, it would be like ugly sticks, right?
Right.
The first time I put a St. Croix rod in my hand.
Is that Oliver?
Oliver. Should I pick this up?
Yeah, you should pick it up.
I should.
Yeah, you should pick it up. Put him on speaker.
Hello? Hey, so we tried to go live.
God damn it.
And it just did not work. Now we're recording right now, and I'm actually talking to you right now.
We're live, Oliver.
What's up, viewers?
So we decided to record and post, but I'm gonna have to get that information back from you because for some reason Google Business kicked me out.
So you might need to click on the link and actually accept it.
We did.
I did.
It said it was already accepted and expired.
Yeah, it said that it had expired. I accepted it like when you first sent it, and I set it up to where it was linked through my Google as well. But when I tried to access it today, it said it expired.
That's so whack.
Yeah. Oh well, I'll send you this file and you can post it up on Big Bass Streams or wherever.
Well, we'll just figure it out, and then John can upload it directly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you still in?
Really simple.
Are you still in Florida?
Yeah, we had Friday, Saturday, Sunday of class, and then we did some snook fishing yesterday, and then we went gag grouper fishing today and smoked them.
Nice.
Yeah.
What'd you catch the gags on?
6 and 8 inch cast prodigies, including just like the ones you guys got in the shop.
Yep.
And the 2 ounce Defiant underspin, because they ain't never seen that before.
Dude, I was messing around with that the other day. I like it.
They were clobbering that thing.
Yeah.
That's one thing too. We're gonna bring in the Big Bass Streams apparel to the shop here. That's on it. That should be on its way, and then hopefully we'll get that Defiant stuff here very shortly.
Yeah.
I caught 4 of our 8 gags, including the 3 biggest ones, and it was on that underspin.
Oh man.
They haven't seen it before. Just a different vibration and presentation, and they're all about it. It was sick.
You getting tired of eating crab every day?
Nah, man, we're actually headed to another crab spot, the Oyster Chucker here in St. Petersburg. That'd be meal number 8 in a row.
Man.
It's trying to decimate the crab population in Florida.
We're doing our part.
All right, man. Well, I'll hit you up after the recording, and we'll try to get everything set up so we can go live.
Absolutely. Big shout out to all the patient audience and members, man.
Absolutely.
Love you guys.
All right. Thank you, bro. Have fun in Florida.
Thanks, boys.
Later.
Well, everyone, you got a little sneak peek of Oliver just hanging out in Florida, doing some fishing.
Freaking grouper fishing, snook fishing. That's the stuff I love to do, man. That's my original passion.
I still haven't caught most, I guess, brackish water fish.
Fun fact.
Like peacock, snook.
My buddy Raul Reyes, who was the captain of the Big E with Underwater Expeditions, which is a boat that I chartered quite often.
Right.
I believe he still holds the state record for Warsaw grouper. It was almost 500 pounds.
Oh my God.
Yeah, we caught it on the. We caught it offshore, dude. You had to use a winch to get it up.
Oh, I'm sure.
There was just no way getting it. Dude, we had so many good times, 500-pound makos.
You think it would be easier to just use an industrial oil crane to catch them?
Dude, you want me to tell you how we used to get rid of tiger sharks? So when you're tuna fishing,
right,
and sharks will obviously smell the blood, the chum line, they'll start coming in.
I mean, the tunas are panicking, so it's just
it doesn't even matter if it's tuna. It could be tuna, it could be anything, snapper, anything you're bringing up. If there's sharks around, and these sharks that live 150 miles offshore aren't your little 6-foot black tips, dude. No, they're 10 to 15 foot long tiger sharks.
Yep.
Makos, apex sharks. So you're catching all your prize reef fish, bringing them up, and just the head just comes up because the body got wrecked by a shark. Well, everybody paid $1,500 to go fishing, not for fish heads, bro.
Right.
So what do? We grab a kingfish out of the damn cooler. We butterfly that kingfish, put a 20-aught circle hook in that sucker on a chain, a metal chain, flip it out, let it drift, shark on, bring the shark in, take care of the shark, and then we start fishing. Now, the tax man had to be gotten rid of. And,
right.
But it was, the crazy thing when you go offshore is you see some of the most like magical things that you would only see on TV, like whale sharks that come up.
Right.
And dude, whale sharks are amazing creatures, humongous, just gentle giants.
Right.
Beautiful, you know, and you would never see that if you didn't get to experience, you know, that type of fishing, you know.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's, dude, when I was in my 20s, I had no problem picking a fight with triple-digit class tuna on top waters all night long. Now
you're old.
I can't. I'd probably catch one, and the lactic acid in my arms and my back would build so bad that I would probably go take a nap for 3 hours after catching one. It's amazing though. Like there's so many great things that I learned.
Hey, speaking of scenery though, people are trashing the crap out of our ponds and lakes. Yeah. It is so bad. I go back to my hometown and I just go fishing, whatever, just at a pond. You know, I take my spinning rod, take like a little box of tackle, and there's trash everywhere.
Yeah.
Everywhere. And it makes me so mad because when I used to fish there when I was in school, it was like I'll go to these ponds and I'll catch, you know, 5, 6, sometimes 7 pounders out of these tiny little rinky-dink ponds.
Sorry, northern boys.
Sorry. There's your PB. And now all of a sudden it's just like a trash pit. It's terrible.
That's COVID, man. Like we got an influx of millions of new, you know, anglers, and the problem is a lot of them are also uninformed, right?
Right.
You don't respect your resources until you realize, oh shit, this is a finite resource. Oh crap, I got to take care of my fishery. You know, like polluting it isn't helping.
Right.
You know, and it's
throwing your hooks and you know, old the
styrofoam worm freaking boxes, minnow bags, those plastic minnow bags all over. Like that's not cool. Pick up after yourself, you know. And we have to be responsible for taking care of our resources.
Right.
Like I have kids that hopefully one day. Right now they don't give a damn about fishing, but I have hopes that one day they will. And if they do, I want them to be able to enjoy the same shit that I did.
Right.
You know?
Absolutely.
But I think that's another, I guess, motive for me to educate people. I think an informed angler will be a responsible angler.
Right.
And if you are enjoying yourself for most people means catching.
Right.
If you're catching fish and you got to figure it out, it's fun. And like, oh, dude, like I want to like think about yourself. If you have a honey hole, you want to protect that honey hole.
Right.
You don't want to tell everybody about it.
No, I'm blurring out the background.
Yeah. But you don't want to tell everybody about it. But you are going to take care of it.
Right.
You're going to make sure that you don't leave styrofoam cups and beer bottles lying around.
Yeah.
Same thing. If everybody had something like that they cherished and valued, I think that like our freaking lakes and ponds and rivers would be a cleaner place. You know, hopefully. I don't know. Maybe that's altruistic. But
I don't know. I think beer bottles make for a good hard structure.
Makes for a good fishing reel too.
Yeah.
When in a pinch.
Right. Oh, I was watching the Scott Martin channel the other day, and he was shiner fishing.
Yeah.
He was talking about like balloons and stuff. I was like, golly.
Dude, I have a video on
those
YouTube.
dang balloons and.
Dude, I have a video on YouTube. When we were fishing during the tarpon migration, the Atlantic tarpon and shark migration in February, we're off the coast of Vero Beach, I think. And we tried for tarpon, couldn't catch tarpon. We went offshore, started jigging for amberjacks, got cut off by the billions of shark that were migrating down the Atlantic coast of Florida. I went down underwater to film because this was right when I think underwater like photography and cameras became accessible to normal consumers. Right?
Yeah.
They didn't cost $1 billion.
Right. Only a few grand.
Yeah. I went down and I panned around and I kid you not, there had to have been like 200 bull sharks and spinner sharks around me. Like,
oh my gosh.
Like half the size of our boat. Okay?
Right.
And I was like, fuck this. Because I wasn't in a cage or nothing. I just wanted to see how many, because we couldn't bring up whole fish. Went down, I was like, holy shit, get me out. Came up. And then we were like, you know what? Let's fly a balloon. And we started catching, what do they call them? Menhaden.
Okay.
Ballooned them up on the surface, and then you'd have like 6-7 foot spinner sharks.
Oh my gosh.
Come up and nail it. And I don't know if you've ever seen a spinner shark. They call them spinner sharks because when they breach.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Amazing sharks. Like, how do you get that much hang time? It's crazy, but it's so much fun. Like, we released them all. We didn't kill any damn sharks. We didn't eat
Right. You didn't make shark fin soup.
No, I don't think, like, you can eat spinner sharks. You can eat spinner sharks, black tips, and makos. Mm-hmm. They're part of that family that can actually urinate.
Right. So that you're not just eating urine.
Right. Because most sharks can't urinate, so their body just absorbs all that ammonia. That's why if you ever fillet a shark that you're not supposed to eat, it smells like pee-pee.
It's a good tip, John.
Yeah. Just. I mean, hopefully you don't catch any sharks, you know.
Yeah.
And the lakes, man, if you do, let me know. That's crazy.
Well, I know like bull sharks especially, they can go into like fresh-ish water. Mm-hmm.
For sure.
So I
think up the Brazos, way up the Brazos, they've been like either caught or spotted before.
Yeah.
Like 100 miles away from the coast or something.
Yeah.
I remember hearing stories about that.
It's like 4 or 5 years ago, probably. It was like shark sighting up wherever. I was like, what the heck?
Yeah. It's bull sharks are man eaters, dude.
Like, hey, we also got alligators in Texas.
Alligators, I don't see them often enough to be tripped out about it.
Right. I know East Texas. Yeah. They've got some gators.
Dude, when we went down to a small I can't say the name of this lake because it is a giant fat bass factory. It's one of my favorite lakes, but I didn't know there were gators there. Mm-hmm. And we were in kayaks. And we're just pedaling around, and I think my buddy tells me, hey, there's a lot of gators in this lake. I'm like, why didn't nobody tell me?
Right.
And my buddy's like, he's got a pistol on him just in case. I'm like, why didn't nobody tell me so I could be better prepared for this?
Is there gator mace?
I don't know. There's bear mace.
There's bear mace.
Yeah. I don't know I think you just piss off a gator because they can just rinse their eyes out in the water.
Well, that's true. This is true. But I do know a lot of the times like gators are like scared of people.
Yeah.
Most of the time. Yeah. They won't mess with you too much.
People like think gators are like so badass, dude. You know those guys that snag gators?
Yeah.
Like for like the commercial gator fishermen, I guess. Dude, they use like 60-pound braid.
Really?
Yeah, like 60-pound braid, and dude, even the guys that use fishing rods to snag them.
Yeah.
On spinning tackle, like plastic spinning reels.
Oh gosh.
And they can land them. So I don't think gators put up that bug of a fight like we think they do.
They sure can.
I wouldn't want to wrestle one.
I was gonna say I don't want to get in the water with one.
No, that's why I was scared. Even in a kayak. I was like,
right.
Why didn't anybody tell me?
I mean, hey, a 10-foot gator's going to knock you out of that kayak real quick, and you're going to probably be pissing your pants.
Well, when they bite you, they don't just, like, bite and shit. They roll.
Yeah, they roll.
They'll, like, sever your limbs.
Yep. I think it's a good little segue into... You want to talk about some stuff we got coming up real quick, or you want to save that till the end?
Let's save that till the end.
Okay.
But... we are sorry that we couldn't go live.
Yeah.
Okay.
So hopefully in 2 weeks, I think we're going to try to do it bi-weekly, right? And that should eliminate the Christmas week.
That's another thing, dude. Trying to get anything done during the holidays.
So dumb.
It's a nightmare because, I mean, obviously nobody really wants to work. Everybody just had a week off for Thanksgiving, and they're counting down the days until they get another week off for Christmas and New Year's.
Yeah, I still had some PTO, and I was looking at our like work schedule of like everyone's like days off, whatever. I'm like, dude, there's like no days I can really actually take to where there's someone still working the store.
Dude, you know how I know nobody wants to be working right now? When I go on Facebook, there's more shit talking that happens during the holiday. It's a festive fucking time of the year, yet there are so many people just bumping their gums. They're not working.
No.
I mean, maybe they're unemployed, but I know that if they are employed, they're definitely not doing anything productive.
They're not doing a great job at
They're
it.
trolling everything that certain people, like even me. Like, I'll post something kind of positive, but no, I'll get some dumb shit thrown at me.
It's like, John, you suck at fishing.
Great.
You only catch fish out of ponds.
Yeah.
Except it's like the biggest, one of the biggest ponds in Texas.
Dude, when I make my fishing reports, when I write them up on like Facebook or Instagram or whatever, I say I fished the home pond. I think these idiots really think that I'm talking about like a pond.
Right.
I say,
like a 1 acre pond.
Yeah. So when I now fished the home pond today,
parentheses,
Lake Texoma. It's like I have to make it clear. I'm like, where else? Like, what pond do you know of that's got smallmouth, largemouth, spotted bass, and striper?
I don't know. So, if you're not familiar with it, definitely want to give a shout out to John Shin and his Facebook group, Big Bass Blessings. If you aren't following that and you want to learn how to target big fish specifically with not only big baits, but really getting the mindset of targeting these big fish.
No, big baits only. No, I kid.
Sometimes. Most of the time.
Most of the
like
time.
99% of the time, it's probably with a big bait. Probably this sucker right here, the Arma joint.
We'll talk about this a little today.
Yeah, we'll talk about that a little bit. But go follow his Facebook. I'm going to try to link it in this video if we put it on our channel. I know Oliver's posted some stuff about Big Bass Blessings, so definitely go give it a follow because John's putting out some really, really good information. But anyway, back on the point. I'm in this group and there's just so much banter going on in not just this one, but the Texas that the other one.
Yeah, I don't know if we can say. I guess we can.
I'm not even gonna say it. It's just another forum in the Texas fishing community.
One of the biggest.
Yeah. And it's just like back and forth, like just so much banter, so much hate, and it's all driven by what we talked about in the first pilot video. It's just ego.
And that's a huge problem. Dude, I really think ego is the number one reason why this industry is so slow to progress.
Right.
If we can just drop our ego. Okay? And I know that's hard to do.
Well, I think a lot of people don't understand what their ego is.
That's true. We're in a state of denial.
Right.
I think we are all in a state of denial. Is it ego or is it confidence? But it is a problem because you develop ego before skills. How funny is that? You catch one 17-pounder, you're the best. You're the best.
You're KVD.
Yeah, you're the best. You go out and put one client on a teener, you're the best.
Yep.
And here's the thing, guys. This is the number one thing I hate the most about fishing industry is I enjoy competition too, but dude, people that are trying to make it in the fishing industry do not need to be throwing shade at each other.
Right.
Okay? I don't care if you're a tournament pro that just joined YouTube, that used to talk trash about the Guggen squad. I don't care. There's no need for hate. Like, everybody, myself included, is trying to do something positive and maybe turn it into something that they can benefit from. Right? It's got to be a mutually beneficial thing, right? My exchange for your likes or your follows is information. Okay, and if you like the information, great. Support, follow, whatever. But if you don't agree with the information, there's no need for personal attacks.
Right. Yeah. We've got one special cupcake that just keeps coming back, wanting more. But yeah, I mean, a lot of his arguments about John fishing whatever, it's all about him. Like when I read his comments, it's just like I did whatever, blah 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 blah. I did.
Which is great to be proud of your accomplishments.
Right, and I'm proud of you too.
Yeah.
You congratulated him on his fish.
Yeah.
I congratulate. Yeah. I didn't even know the guy.
I didn't really either. And here's the thing, man. I don't want to get into a pissing contest on Facebook. I've got a lot of shit to do, man. Like, I don't have time for that. Furthermore, I don't like that, dude. If you were trying to make
so
it
negative,
I want to help you.
Right.
I don't want to hurt you. Okay. I don't want to have to call your sponsors and be like, look at what this douchebag that represents your company is doing. Okay. I don't want to do that. Do I want to do that? I do want to do that, but I don't do that. Okay?
Right.
Because how does that benefit me?
It doesn't. It just tears someone else down.
Yeah. And it happens too. Like, even amongst guides, dude, why can't all the guides if all the guides could just get along, be like, hey, have mutual respect for each other. We all do the same damn shit. Okay? And this is something that I've been juggling, like an idea that I've been juggling. I won't go into full detail about it, but I fully believe that this idea will eliminate all bad reviews for guides. Like, dude, we live in an era where one bad Yelp review can shut down your business.
Yep, 100%.
One pissed off customer could really be detrimental.
Hey, especially if you're starting out. So when you're starting out, right, obviously, it's just averages, one, if there's 10 reviews and one of them is a 1-star, it is taking all those 10, 9 good reviews.
You'll still be a 4.9.
And you'll be like
star rating. Yeah.
No. It cuts it down even more than that.
Really?
Yes, a 1-star review out of all those other ones, it's going to knock you down to like 4 stars.
Oh, wow. I don't understand the math on that. Should be a 10% deal, but okay.
No, it's so bad. Well, no, because 49 out of 50s.
Oh, 1%. That's true. That's 1%.
Yeah. It's like a 4-star.
Yeah, that is
now.
Yeah.
So it's just it exponentially really decreases or devalues your business based off one bad review. And a lot of the times, in my experience here at the shop, is we've had a few people that we shipped something to, and it wasn't even our fault, right? We send stuff out to the best of our ability, whether it's a rod, reel, tackle, packed tightly. Tim does a great job. Abby does a great job. And we get one guy complain that his rod tube's broken in shipping.
Right, that's the carrier's fault.
I was like,
right.
And he left us a bad review. I was like, I don't know what you want me to do, dude. Like,
could have called the shop first. Okay, future reference.
Right, here's future reference. But for those of you who are like, obviously you're mad, you want your stuff in perfect condition, I get that. But just think about the business. We tried to do our best to help this customer, gave him gift cards, we got a different rod sent out to him, blah, blah, blah. And we still have a 1-star review.
Right, that doesn't go away.
So, he was fine with the situation after all that, but it doesn't go away because you can't resend your reviews.
Right. You can update a comment after you post your review saying that, whatever, but it still stays. Yeah.
It still stays. So
that's like on an online, like word of mouth in the fishing industry is huge, right?
So fast.
And I think that's like the biggest marketing, like, I guess, vessel, word of mouth, in the fishing industry. Because we're so tight-knit, right? Mm-hmm. Everybody knows everybody, kind of.
Well, so, everyone knows everybody until you get to your clicks, which is another thing.
Right. Your
clicks are so word of mouth.
Gangs.
Right,
your gangs.
We're going to get demonetized now. You didn't have to say that one, John. No. So the fishing industry is very small, right? So you go to, like, I've been to ICAST several times, and it's like, you see the same people, they all know this person, they all know that person, and it's just word of mouth gets around very easily. So if you do something in the fishing industry, everyone's going to find out really fast. There's going to be 10 people that want to go viral for making a video on it because they can,
Well, here's the thing, dude. And word does travel fast.
It does.
Negative shit travels so much faster than positive stuff. I don't know if it's because positive words aren't put out enough.
Right.
But if somebody goes and spreads a rumor, hey, so and so is a drug addict, and
so everyone knows.
Yeah, it's like overnight, everybody knows.
Headlines.
It's gone viral.
Yeah, Wired to Fish posted an article.
Yeah. And it's crazy because you shouldn't spread rumors like that.
No.
I know of a guide that is very well known. Mm-hmm. Not just in the industry, especially locally in Texas.
Right. Okay.
For big bass, that spreads nasty rumors like that about other guides. Not cool, bro.
Too much hate.
Not cool. Okay. Like, even if that were true, which I know it's not because the other guide is a friend of mine. Not cool. Okay. You don't try to shut another man's livelihood down because you feel threatened or whatever your reasoning is.
He happened to drift across your spot, your little honey hole.
Whatever, dude. But it's just not cool. And why is it that so many people bump their gums on the internet, but when you see that same dude at the ramp, they just act like that never happened? Mm-hmm. it's like, oh, hey, what's up? No, not what's up. We're past that now, buddy.
There's so many people out in the industry now that have such big talk online. They hide behind their screens. They talk a big game, but when you see them in person, it's totally different. They think you're best friends. Nothing ever happened. And I definitely got that a lot, especially in my college fishing time, where like I wouldn't intentionally try to bump gums or what was that? Oh. I wouldn't try to cause a lot of drama or anything. It's just like there's certain things that are gonna help the overall team. Like I try to do a lot of stuff for the Tarleton fishing team. This is how I know how to run businesses, nonprofits, teams, because I've been doing it my entire life. You've got to have fundraising to keep the team going. No one wanted to do any fundraising, so I was like, okay, well, whatever. I don't care anymore. And they got mad at me for that. I was like, dude, don't push me away, and then as soon as I walk away because you're being difficult, try to call me back in and say everything's fine.
Dude, there's a lot of sensitive people in fishing. That goes to ego, right? Your ego's up here, but you don't know how to check your own emotions.
Right.
Right? So you can go and offend everybody.
Oh, yeah.
If somebody tries to offend you,
it's like,
you're going to cry
into
about
the world.
It. I'm going to call his sponsors.
I am going to post a YouTube video.
I'm going to call your mama.
Right. So, no, it's ego's just. I don't think it. Obviously, we can't fix it. I don't think it's.
I think you can fix it. I think we need to make it to where if you are going to talk trash on the internet, you need to just be willing to sign a waiver, meet up with that guy at the ramp, and hash it out. Because the dude that was talking trash to me was like, well, people don't meet up at the ramp and talk anymore because everybody carries a bang stick. And I was like, it's awfully suggestive. What are you suggesting? Huh? That you would shoot me if I saw you at the ramp? Is that what you're suggesting? I'm like, well, and that's the thing. It's like, what's funny? There's that saying where everybody hates the police until you need them. Right? Until you need to call them, right? And it's the same thing. Like, everybody wants to talk this big game, but nobody wants to cut those checks, cash those checks that their mouths are cutting. And I come from a world where that's not okay.
Right.
I come from a world where you're supposed to show respect if you don't know somebody.
Right.
Okay. And and believe that I come from a very grimy world too. Okay. But even in that world, there's always a level of respect, and you don't cross certain boundaries.
Right.
All bets are off in fishing. It's like,
no one cares.
Yeah, no one cares. Before they know anything about you, before they even know you as a person, they jump to conclusions and just vomit words out of their mouth that makes them feel better about themselves.
Right, yeah. So I sent you some screenshots.
Yeah.
And I posted about it on the Lake Pro Instagram, whatever, Facebook. Yeah. This guy was just so in on himself. It was absolutely ridiculous. I was like, dude, you could have done a little bit of research on me by going to my Instagram or Facebook or personal whatever, and easily found out that I fish for stuff other than bass.
Yeah.
Right? And he's like,
do you even crappie fish, bro?
Do you even crappie fish, bro?
Bro?
Like, whatever. I didn't even respond after that.
Dude, that's a phase though. Dude, this is kind of funny, but I think this is true. There's 3 phases in like an angler's progression into becoming like the final Pokemon. Okay. But it's like you first develop ego.
Right.
Okay. Before you even have your skill set, you develop ego. Then you develop some skills. Right. And then the final evolution is where you know how to manage your ego, your confidence, and your skill level. Right. Yep. But too many people want to, I guess, seem like they know more than they do.
Right.
And
everyone wants to be the expert in the room.
That's true.
Like, you want to know what you're talking about. You don't want to be left out of a conversation.
I've been guilty of that, like a long time ago. I'm 100% sure I've been guilty of that. I bet you've been guilty of that.
Oh, yeah.
We all have. If you fish, you've been guilty of that.
Right. It's like, I mean, I hear it all the time in like anglers and stuff. Like, people that I know, obviously, that haven't been to like a certain lake or whatever, like a lot, claim they know everything about the lake. And I try my best to give not my own opinion, right, on like, especially like, let's take Bridgeport for example, right? I can study a lake, I can look at it and say these are the areas that I would probably hit. I've been there maybe once or twice in my life. I'm not telling you there's fish here. I'm not claiming to say I have caught fish here. This is where I would start. This is why I think these areas are good and why the fish should be there. And if they're not there, I mean, they're not there, you know?
Do you know why I started charging people to do lake breakdowns? Okay, I get DMs on the daily. I'm going fish to Lake X, okay, whatever. How would you break this lake down? And it used to be, before I started BigBassBlessings.com, okay, I would literally take an hour out of my damn day to show them how I would break this lake down using, tools that everybody has access to.
Right. You can go to Google Earth.
Yeah.
You go, Google Maps.
Or you have to use Earth Pro, but
right, Earth Pro, right.
Yeah, and then like Navionics or whatever, C-Maps, whatever, right? And how I would break it down. Send them that information. It's never a thank you. Next week or 2 days later, they post a picture of their PB and how they're so damn good at fishing and how they're the greatest ever, and not even a message back to me saying thank you for, dude. Screw you, man. I'm not doing that anymore.
Right.
And it's not because, is there some ego there? Maybe.
Right.
Maybe, but I actually took the time
right,
to break that lake down for you.
Right.
When you had no idea where to go.
And when you look at it like a business perspective, right, it's like a review, essentially, if they give you credit, right? Other people will be driven to your business, want your expertise on the subject matter. You might be wrong sometimes, but your track record or your expertise in the subject of whether it was big bass fishing, just breaking down an area. I don't know. I wasn't around when you did that.
Yeah.
Having that credit isn't just ego. Like having it, wanting it, just because you want it, that's ego. Yeah. But having it to further your business, that is just good business practice to be able to have that information.
Yeah, and it's, dude, here's what another thing that chaps my ass. There are people that will ask you questions about fishing.
Right.
You take the time to respond to them. Come to find out, they did nothing that y'all discussed.
Right.
They just went off and did their own thing. Why did you waste my time, bro? Like you were just gonna do what you were gonna do anyway. You know. And let me tell you something funny that's happening right now. There is a lake down south of us. It's a small body of water.
Right.
I mean, compared to Texoma, everything is small, but it is a small, clear, deep reservoir. Clear, deep, grass, rock. Okay? There are people that tell me they won't eat a big bait there. I'm like, oh. Now it's like 3 hours away from me. So I would have to really want to prove them wrong to make a trip down there. I've never fished this lake before. Okay?
Right.
But I know, based on everything that I know, I would 100% get them to smoke a big bait down in there.
Oh, yeah.
Clear, deep.
Hey, I think
grass.
big bait is also very subjective, and what's a big bait to some people?
A cold shad, a freaking Texas,
like a
Texas shad.
This is an 8-inch cold shad, right? That's a 9.
This is 7.5 inch bait,
right? Yeah. And then you've got like this one here.
Yeah.
You got like a 10-inch bait, right? So I think definitely like everyone's perspectives are different.
Well, let's just say a 6 to 10 inch swim bait.
Right.
Like I feel like, and judging by what they're telling me, nobody's doing it down there. That's why they don't believe it. So if I'm the first person to show up and mark my territory, if there are big bass in that lake, I am going to mollywop them on a big bait, if they haven't seen it before. Because based on historically speaking, every new lake that I've gone to where the lake hasn't been overrun by swim bait guys, where they haven't been educated to...
They're so dumb.
Dude, when they see something like this, there is no tracking it. They're boom like a missile and they smoke it.
Yep.
Because they've never seen it.
Well, it also comes back to like the bass instinct and character of a bass.
Right.
It's opportunistic. It needs to feed because it is burning so many calories throughout the day because it has to push itself. It weighs 10 pounds.
Right. But in a small body, here's what I know. Deep reservoirs means they probably do a lot of vertical movement more so than lateral movement. Right.
Along
they have a home.
Ledges and bluffs and certain.
It's dude. The biggest bass in your lake lives where you think it lives. It's just not gonna eat all the time. Right. Like I know for a fact that I've probably passed a glide bait by a 10-pounder on Texoma more than once. Just didn't want to eat it at that time. Right. I know where they're supposed to be.
Well, we talked about it too. One of your buddies caught a 10-pounder on Texoma.
I seen that fish before he caught it. Like I caught a small, and I think that fish tried to eat my smallmouth, and I knew immediately based on where it came from.
You're like, that's
his home. That's over there. I know where it came from. Yeah.
Right.
So like big fish live where, and I'm usually in the right areas, but that doesn't necessarily mean I'm gonna on that particular moment.
You've
got
to get lucky sometimes.
Yeah, 100%. You have to
get lucky.
But like they're like, nah, your
crazy.
big swim bait thing isn't gonna work out here. They don't eat it. So you know what they throw? They throw worms, they throw flukes, and typical stuff, right?
Throw crankbait.
Yeah, and I'm like, if I was 10 years younger and my ego was here and I'm still hot, I am driving my happy ass 3 hours down there. I'm gonna spend 3 days down there, clear my schedule.
Right.
Because now I have like challenge accepted.
Hey, I do have some PTO I have to use before the end of the year.
Yeah.
I've got 2 days.
Let's go. Screw it. Yeah, but I don't want to do it on the scale.
Okay, I won't even bring the graph then.
No graph. It's a small lake. We don't need a graph.
Okay.
Yeah, we don't. Need, we just need to know depth and maybe.
So I should bring an inner tube.
Inner tube. Yeah. No
In
trolling
the
motor.
40 degree water.
No trolling motor.
Hey, we can homeless fishermen on paddle boards.
Oh, that guy's gangster.
He is gangster, dude. It is so amazing what he can do with a paddle board.
Dude, how
his
feet are more advanced than my rudder.
Oh, dude, I know. Oh my gosh.
Steering. That guy's gangster.
Oh,
for real.
Marshall's an OG.
But like it's just I don't get why people. I get why people are doubtful, right? Especially in the big baby.
It's the unknown,
right?
Like so, So I talked about this on Adrian's podcast, right? So when I was in college, the mag draft was like hitting. Like everyone's just on the mag draft.
Like 5-6 years ago.
Yeah, I didn't give a crap about a mag draft. I was like, I'm still catching them.
Because your tournament mentality.
Right. Well, there's that, but I just enjoyed catching fish, right? Yeah. I had mag soles.
Mm-hmm.
I just hadn't gotten on the mag draft. Like, I hated the mag sole. I didn't like fishing it. It was just so foreign to me. You're just sitting there reeling.
You know why? The mag sole is actually designed to be fished fast in current.
What?
Yes. The mag sole is designed to be fished fast in current.
Dude, the only way I could get that sucker to work was with a 6-gear ratio just doing this.
No.
Interesting. Okay. Well,
and it's like the mag draft is misunderstood too. It's supposed to be fished on a clip or with a loop knot.
Right.
You know?
Right.
And that's how it was designed. But yeah. See, tournament anglers are now catching on.
Right.
Dude, when I saw the Bass Champs Championship on Texoma, everybody had a swim bait tied on the front deck, and I'm not talking about a 3.2 Kitech or 2.8 Kitech.
Everyone's got like a glider. Everyone's got like an S wave or mag draft.
Call shad.
Yep.
Something like that.
Well, see, that just tells you so many people are absorbing content, whether it's your content, whether it's other people that put out that content on Texoma. People are watching. They might be watching from behind the scenes, but they're still watching.
Oh, for sure behind the scenes because, dude, I don't have that many followers.
Right.
Okay? I know that. But when I post something, if I go back to the insights...
Mm-hmm. It's just
it's like a lot of views, and I'm like, That's why freaking Jake the other day was like, oh, for once, your background is foggy. It's like because I don't really delete my background and that's another thing, dude. I think I've gotten to where I'm at because I did blow my own bites.
Right.
I did show people like what I'm catching them on, even where I'm catching them.
Right.
And it forced me to go find new stuff. All the time forced me to find new stuff because let's be honest, Sam. If you find a spot, we're talking about spots, that's producing, how long does that spot hold out for?
Shoot, I was on Louisville, lasted about a year.
That spot? Like they never transitioned anywhere, moved off? Dude, Louisville's got dumb bass, folks. Freaking go fish in Louisville.
And the funny thing is, like, what was it? It was a year and a half ago. You remember Kevin Bartolozzi? One of our lake pros. I showed him that spot, and he would fish it in like the derbs. Like I'd see him, like I'd go after work on Friday for like an hour or two. I'd pull up to my spot area. Like it wasn't my spot, but I showed people this spot, showed them how to
now
fish it.
Now it's community.
No, it's still not. Well, it's still not really community, right? The way we fish it.
Okay.
But it's just general area, and I showed a lot of people. I showed all my buddies. I was like, this is how I'm catching them on crappie jigs, blah 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 blah. And it's still producing. Tim and I won that Louisville tournament.
Yeah, I remember.
Off that spot.
I remember. Well, that refutes my point that I was about to make. But generally...
Well, most of the time. This is an outlier because it has everything. It's got ledge, it's got brush, it's got shallow rock
most
cover.
Good spots do. Yeah, have a little bit. At least 2 out of 3 of the main big things. But
right.
Yeah, spots usually don't last. So I burn out my own spot, and I got to find new shit. And here's the funny thing. When I do find it, for like a day or two, I'll go every day. Like as soon as I peg it, But eventually, I just tell anybody that wants to know.
Yeah.
And I'll post it, and then I'll burn it out.
Yeah. So when I went fishing with you on Thursday, I was like, oh, what's he got tied on? Oh, an armor joint. And in a mag draft, well, no, you didn't have the mag draft on, but you had the taxi shad on.
Yeah, TS10.
And that was it.
Yeah, that's literally it.
I was like, this looks very similar to exactly every single one of your posts that you post about Lake Texoma and catching.
I have been accused of hanging baits, catching them on other stuff.
So dumb.
And I'm like, anybody that's gone fishing with me knows, dude, I'm the guy, especially if it's my home lake.
Right.
I'm not going to bring 57 rods with me.
No, you had 3.
Yeah. That's it. And it's almost always going to be some sort of bait fish imitator, maybe a sleeper crawl.
Right.
If it's tough. Yeah.
Right.
But it's like, I enjoy catching them that way. I'm not saying everybody should catch them that way, but I enjoy catching them that way. And like the Arma joint, for instance, dude, this is one that I actually bought today.
Right.
I bought another one.
And the rod. You got a rod too.
Oh, I did. And I'm gonna tell y'all, so if y'all like throwing sub 2.5 ounce glides, like that 1 to 2.5, 7-inch shad, even a tiny flash. Okay. That Miller Swim Freak. It's like a 7.9, 7.8.
Yeah.
It's rated for up to 2 ounces, but it can handle 2.5.
It's almost like a cranking rod that doesn't have the full parabolic bend. It's got enough backbone, right? It's still parabolic, but it's got enough backbone to heave these sized baits.
It's unique. It's an overbuilt jerkbait rod. Okay, is what I call it.
Right.
It's got that faster responsive tip, but it loads deep into the blank.
Yep.
Like I was, like just to see if I could shatter this blank, I tried to.
Before you say that, out of conventional gear, not swim bait gear, right? What would you say that power rating is on that Miller rod? Like compared to like a bass.
A 4.5 power, like a medium heavy plus.
Medium heavy. Yeah. I would agree. Yeah.
It's a pretty good all-purpose rod too. Mm-hmm. So if you're somebody that like likes to just bang the shoreline and don't like taking a bunch of rods with you, like I've thrown sleeper crawl on it.
Yep.
Caught fish on it. Which is a 5/8 ounce, basically like a finesse smaller jig.
You've thrown mag drafts on
it.
Yep.
I've thrown swim jigs on it.
Mm-hmm. TK.
Tiny Clash, Arma joint, Rising Sun, the 5-inch one. 5-inch spark shads.
You can I was gonna say you can easily throw like smaller Alabama rigs on it.
I've thrown a Mega Bass Rudra, the big, or not Mega Bass, OSP Rudra.
OSP, yeah.
The big jerkbait, like 128 or 127. Yeah. Like, so you could
like
throw a
Canada
on it. Like, you can do anything with it. It's a good all-around rod, but I love it for the Arma joints, Tiny Clash.
Yep.
I loved it so much that I have a lot of swim bait rods. Mm-hmm. But I kept cutting and retying my baits on that rod because I like that rod so much.
You like the feel.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that's why I bought another one. I don't want to cut and retie. But I guess we could briefly go over the Arma joint. You guys have a slow sink now.
Yes,
right?
We do have a slow sink. We started off with the slow float, and you would weight them down. You'd tell everyone. Everyone knows.
The slow sink weighs 1/8 of an ounce more than this.
Mm-hmm. And it is slow.
And I haven't swam it yet.
It is damn near suspending. Because the first time I took it out when we were supposed to go fishing on Thursday, or when we went fishing on Thursday, I was looking at it in the water, and it's just kind of...
I wonder how the weight distribution is, because...
It's front heavy.
Well, that's where it's supposed to be.
Right.
Because of the way the weight is distributed on the bait naturally, it's kind of evenly distributed. So the bait always sits like this, right? But on the slow float, I put a 3/4 gram strip right under the chin, the front of the bait, and it becomes a super slow suspend. Okay, so I thought that because the slow sink is a whole 1/8 of an ounce heavier, that it would be a faster sink.
I gotcha.
But right now, I'm gonna tell y'all something. That super slow sink, that super slow suspend, is the money.
It's a ticket right now for sure.
It's the money. And I'm gonna say something that everybody's got. Some people might laugh at me. There's a couple of people that have seen me, do stuff like this. But even smallmouth will key in on gizzard shad right now.
Yeah, we watched some smallies bust some shad up in the morning.
Yeah, they won't eat small stuff.
No,
they're looking for the gizzard. Mm-hmm. So this will get you big.
But it's been about an hour.
Okay.
I think it's a good time to wrap it up.
Yep.
Hopefully this was a good baseline for everyone tuning in. I'm not sure which channels we're putting it up on. I'm probably going to take clips from this, put it on Lake Pro. Going on Big Bass Streams, we'll figure it out wherever it goes. But I hope everyone enjoyed this first episode of the Backlash podcast. We didn't get into much controversial stuff. We'll get into some of that, talk about everything that we have to dig up.
I don't want to talk controversy until we go live.
Absolutely.
And the people that I'm talking about can jump on. They can start chiming in.
No, we'd love to have them. But again, thank you so much, guys. Again, John here. Thank you for, of course, setting this all up for us. And
hopefully this is something that's fun and lasts a long time. Hopefully a lot of people can relate and tune in. Mm-hmm. And I don't know. I want people to come check out the shop too.
Yeah, we've got the Worm Bar. Buy some bulk soft plastic.
A lot of new.
We've got two whole buildings full of stuff.
You guys are getting this stuff too, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Getting Big Bash Dreams apparel, hats, shirts. Oh, we're getting the Biggie Small shirt.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So it's gonna be awesome.
I'm gonna wear it next time.
Yeah. So of course, we did get some cupcakes. We didn't eat them on stream here.
I'm gonna eat them after the stream.
Yeah, I'm definitely eating them after the stream. Yeah. But don't be a cupcake. Tune in. We'll put some more information out. It's going to be like a bi-weekly thing, so probably 2 weeks will be about the time frame that we're going to be going live. Hopefully that's enough time. Figure it out. Yeah, 2 whole weeks. So guys, thank you again so much for watching, and we'll see you next time. See you guys.